Hi everybody, thanks for checking out the video and your interest in the Women's Flag Football Network USA team. I found that it's easier to put together a video to kind of talk to you about what I'm trying to do here and give you more information right here before you go any further. I'd like to put as much info on the table as possible to give you an opportunity to make an informed decision on what we're trying to do. Attached to the email that had the link to this video is also a link to the player information form so we can gather a little bit more information about you. But I appreciate if you take the time to go through this video series real quick so I know that you fully understand what you're getting yourselves into, and then make that decision with the information I'm able to give you if you still want to participate in what we're going to do. So please take some time out and check out this video. I'm kind of chopping it up into pieces so you can look at it a little bit at a time. And I hate to bore you, but I really like to be open at what's going on. I want to make sure you are aware of what's going on as much as possible. I feel as much as everybody's on the same page, the less problems we'll have, because it's already going to be difficult trying to put this team together with people from all over the country. So we want to have as much information out there available as possible for you so you can make informed decisions. The first thing I want to talk about is our name. So we'll be going by the WFFN USA team, which is the Women's Flag Football Network USA team. When we refer to ourselves, we will always have to use WFFN USA team because there is a USA team in existence, and we do not in any way want to be confused with them. We don't want to appear to be misrepresenting ourselves. And in all honesty, we don't want to be compared, or we don't want to be confused with the team that we're probably going to be much better than. We're more diverse, and we have a larger pool of individuals that we're choosing from around the country to be a part of this team. So please make sure at all times we're referring to ourselves as the WFFN USA team. We do not want to just say USA team. Let's talk about the selection process. So the selection process for this team is going to be very difficult. And I'll be honest with you, it's borderline unfair for you as a player. And I want to be honest with you about that, and I'll explain what I mean. Probably about 80% of you who have replied to that are interested in the team, I actually know and have seen play flag football. So I do have a general idea of your skill set and some of your experience and what you can do, which is good. But there's 20% of you out there that I haven't necessarily had an opportunity to see play. And it slightly puts you at a disadvantage. And I'm going to explain to you how we're going to overcome that disadvantage as much as possible. But it does slightly put you at a disadvantage. Because if I have seen player A play for years and I know what she can do, and I have player B wanting to play the same position and I don't know what she can do, by nature, I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to pull A in there, and then once the score is good, I'll bring B in there. And it's not, that's actually really not fair because player B could be an outstanding player and I just don't know. We'll be able to weed that out once we get to our very first tournament. But my problem is that I'm going to have to rely on you, and not only your confidence in yourself, but your realistic viewpoint of your ability. If you play in multiple tournaments, you've received MVPs, you've been acknowledged, you know you're very good at your position, you're not going to have a problem. But if you're a woman who I just love playing flag football, I put my whole heart into it, I've not really been recognized, I'm not really that great and outstanding, whatever, you're going to be put at the disadvantage. And this is why I say that, because we're going to basically solidify starting lineups and depth charts and all that, a day or two before the tournament. And what happens is, if you're not that elite player, I can promise you're going to get playing time at the first tournament, but we may release you going forward, going into 2019 when we do multiple tournaments. And you might say, okay, well, cool, I just got released. Well, the reason why it's not cool is because we're also asking you to make an investment in this team. because you do have to purchase uniforms, even though we're going to keep it down as low as possible, but you're still paying for a uniform that you no longer be able to wear if you were released from the team. That's money, and I don't want anybody wasting their money. You're going to pay for your trip to get to the Bahamas. You're going to pay for your stay. You're going to pay for all that kind of stuff, and you're coming out your pocket with this, so it's out of your pocket for this, so it's an investment. And the last thing I want is for people to make an investment and then get nothing out of it. I want everybody who wants to play on this team to be on this team, but this team is put together to be extremely competitive and to win. I do expect us to win wherever we go. I have to keep it real. I do expect us to win wherever we go. That's the whole point of this team, is to put the best together to win. So yes, that does become a slightly unfair advantage for those who may really want to be a part of this, but may not have the skill set to do it. So let me explain some of the things that I look for in skill set when I say may not have the skill set. So we have player A, who plays the O-line. She's very aggressive. She can put plenty of people on their behind. Very strong, but can't read the rush. Can't defend against someone putting a swim move on her. Doesn't have good footwork. All right. Now we have player B, who's 20 pounds lighter than player A, who may not put the girl on the ground, but player B has great footwork. So even though she's not putting that rusher on the ground, that rusher is not getting around her very quickly or easily. She's able to continue to defend after the rusher puts several moves on her. So physically, she might not be the best, but experience and technique-wise, she's the best. And those are the players we're going to put on the position that I just gave as the O-line. She's the girl that's going to be on the O-line, player B, instead of player A, because player A still has some growth and opportunity, and player B is ready to jump right in there. So don't look at saying, I've got to be the fastest, I've got to be the strongest, because that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for that person that has that technique, that skill set, and is very proficient in their position. So you need to do a self-analysis or speak with your coaches, or better yet, opposing coaches, and get a good description of how they feel you are as far as your strength and your position. And that will help you better know that, okay, I'm going to be on this team. And I can assure you, if most good coaches say that you're pretty good at your position, what we'll see is that you're pretty good at your position, being proficient at the position. So that kind of goes over some of what can be considered unfairness, but we're going to do our best to keep it fair. But I will be honest and say, if we get to the point where we're at our very first tournament and we've played, and I just don't see that you're a fit because you don't bring that skill set, I will have to release you. And I don't want to do that to anyone. And the best way to avoid that is you have a full or good understanding of where your skill set is. All right, coaching staff. Let me explain to you the hierarchy of the team. I am the owner of the team. I'm not the coach. I will let the coach do the coach's job. That's all the coaches will be doing, is the coaching job. They won't be cutting players or adding players. They will be coaching the players. Any player that we have to cut or add or whatever, I handle the administration portion of that. So I would always be the one that will be talking to any additions or subtractions, so to speak, to the team. Coaching staff will consist of a head coach, an assistant head coach, an O-line coach, and a defensive coordinator. All right. We will also have a team manager. The team manager in the hierarchy is right under me. So that person will be handling all the logistics, all the administrative work, everything as far as getting you guys together, making sure you got all your information to me, making sure you got your flights, your passport, your money, everything. They'll be handling all of that. They will be your liaison to me for all of that kind of stuff. All right. So therefore, they got to be right here under me. Now, what that does is that lets the coaches worry about coaching, and that's it. That's all they'll be worried about. So those are the 4 coaching positions that I'm looking to fill. And we actually already have them filled, but those are the 4 coaching positions, and that's how the hierarchy will work. Okay, so how are we going to coordinate plays, offensive, defensive sets, players' responsibilities, and things like that? Where are we going to wait till we get to Bahamas and do all that? No. We will communicate through email and online as well as conference calls. This is one of the reasons why we need our players to be proficient in their positions and have a good football IQ. And what I mean is, if I say I need you to do a 5-yard post on this particular set, you already need to know what a 5-yard post is. Not that it's 5 steps when you're running and you go straight across to the left or to the right, but that it's 5 yards, which depending on your height and size and the distance of your steps you're taking, could be 2 or 3 steps, and then the angle of what a post is. You have to already know that, all right? So that's why we need you to be proficient in your position. You have to know the basics of every part of your position, and then the coaches will explain to you what you'll be doing in each particular offensive or defensive set in your position. And that can be easily translated and sent to you in email when we show diagrams of offensive sets. And then each coach will be in charge of working with their particular area of expertise, which will lead to conference calls and emails. So very difficult. I'm sure it's very different than some of you have worked together before in the past with putting together teams, and maybe some of you have done this before. But that's the best way we can do it. And so by the time we get everything together, every player will have a playbook, and they'll understand in writing what we're supposed to do. And that's why we get there on Thursday night, and we go out there and work on executing everything that you would have already had by then. So our standard time at any event coming 2 days in advance would be arrive on Thursday during the day and practice on Thursday night. All right, go do whatever Thursday night. We have a practice for a couple of hours on Friday. The coaching staff will get together, and then we'll have one more practice time on Friday evening. And so we basically have 3 practices before we start the event, and that would be our standard for any tournament that we attend when going overseas to play. Making sure that we get there early to have at least 3 practices to make sure that we're all on the same page. Expenses. Okay, let's talk about the big thing. Money is always the big thing. Something that I don't like to play around with, but I always like to be very clear about. I've already discussed with you that you will be responsible for covering your own expenses, and I'll give you an idea of what those expenses are. And then, of course, I'm going to let you know that we're going to be doing things to fundraise, try to gain sponsorship, and things like that to help decrease your expenses. But I need to let everyone know we're going into this with no money but our own money in our own pockets. All right, I want to be very clear about that. All right, so your first commitment financially is uniforms. Uniforms are going to come to $120 per person. Let me explain what comes to you in your uniform packet. So it's going to be 2 bottoms. Everyone will get a pair of long compression pants, and then you'll have a choice of short compression pants or basketball style shorts. So everyone will get the long compression pants, and then you'll get to choose another bottom, whether it be basketball style shorts or short compression pants. Everyone will get 2 jerseys. We'll have a home and away jersey, contrasting colors. And everyone will get 2 dry fit shirts. One will be a travel shirt, so like when we're on the plane, we get to show who we are, everybody knows who we are. And then we'll have a practice shirt. My idea is to have the offense have 1 color practice shirt and the defense have another color practice shirt. But we're going to have a practice shirt. I'm also working on us getting a little bag to put everything in. So that's something else that's going to be worked on. But whether I get it or not, it doesn't change the price of the 120 because those bags that I'm looking for are going to be a donation. Then that's your uniform commitment. Now you got your travel expenses. whatever it costs for you to fly to Nassau, Bahamas, and arrive on October 4th before 6 p.m. We need everyone to be ready to practice by 6 p.m. on October 4th. I'm sorry, 4th. Let me put it like that. So therefore, you need to be arriving in the Bahamas no later than 4:30 p.m. on the 4th to allow yourself time to get to the field for our first practice. I need to know if you have a flight that will not get you there in enough time and you have to come a day earlier. We have some things we can work out. We can either get a hotel room a day earlier, or we also have an option because some of the players out there will gladly be a host player for some of our players. In other words, you can stay at their house in the Bahamas for one night until the team is all together on Thursday. So we have some options, and of course, the host option is free. So that always sounds good. Of course, you have to be open to staying at someone's house, and everybody's not always open to do that. All right. The expenses for the hotel is just under $200 per night. And that includes everything. It includes the gratuity, the maid service, the resort fee, and a whole bunch of other stuff that they add in there. But it's $200 per night. Each room has 2 queen beds in them. The standard setup would be 2 players per room. So for you, that would be, for everybody, it would basically be $100 per night. I didn't say that we're going to be checking out on Monday the 8th. So we'll be flying out and leaving out on Monday the 8th. From my understanding, you may want to leave as late as possible on Monday the 8th because I do hear that there's some celebratory things going on in the Bahamas that weekend. Not sure a whole lot about it, but just putting it out there. I'll find out more. So anyway, so you're basically, your hotel night needs to calculate at Thursday, $100, Friday, $100, Saturday, $100, Sunday, $100. That's $400 per person for the hotel at the current rate that we have. I'll tell you why I'm saying that. Now, say you've got 3 other girls on the team that you're cool with and y'all don't mind doubling up. That is 100% fine with me to split the cost. You can do that. I just need to know that so when we make the reservations, we don't book more rooms than we need. So I'm more than fine with you guys doing whatever you can to bring down your cost as long as you're comfortable. But you just can't change it at the last minute. You done spent one night in there and say, I can't sleep with these girls no more. You just can't do it. So think about it before you do it, but I'm behind you 100% if that's what you want to do. I am still in talks with trying to find a hotel that might be less expensive. But I'm telling you, I'm trying to keep the standards high for the hotels in which we stay in. I'm not staying in any little beat up hotels. I'm gonna tell you that. So we're not going to stay in any hotels just to save price, save money that are not high quality hotels. So, but I will continue to look to see if we can bring the price down. The hotel itself is really just over $120 a night, but they have a whole bunch of resort fees and maid fees and a whole bunch of other stuff that brings it just under $200 a night. So we're going to continue to work on that, but I need you to be prepared for that. Food. You are responsible for feeding yourself while you are there. However, the first thing I'm going to do is set up a fundraising page for us to have family and friends to donate money to our, us eating while we're there. And I have a feeling that will catch on faster because I have a feeling that a lot of our teammates will want to support us as well as our friends and families will want to support us. So if we got 3 or 4 friends donating 20 to 30 bucks, that's definitely going to quickly help cover the food that we're going to need while we're in the Bahamas. One of the things I'm going to use is everybody who donates $50 or more, they'll get a free team picture that we'll take while we're in the Bahamas, and then I'll have sent to each of those people who donated 50 bucks or more. So we'll try to give some sort of incentive. We'll also be doing, we'll do some other fundraising things, but basically, you do need to be prepared to cover for your food, and we are going to do things to try to help knock that cost out. So that's basically your expenses right there, your flight, your hotel, and your food. Also, I wanted to say is, what if we raise $10,000 by this fundraising? So this is how the money is going to go back to you as a player. First, it'll cover the food for the days that we are there. If we have money left over, then it will be cut to cut down the cost of the hotel rooms per person while we're there, and then we'll start reimbursing you, everyone on the team equally, for travel expenses. So it'll always go back to you. I'm not trying to keep anything. I want to, do whatever I can to keep your money in your pocket, but I just want everyone to be prepared to have to come out of the pocket in order to make this happen. No surprises. But I definitely want to do whatever we can collectively and individually to make sure that we're coming out of our pockets as little as possible. All right, everyone, that's it. Sorry these videos were pretty long and lengthy, but I wanted to make sure I got everything out to you, that I could think of. And now I want you to go ahead and fill out that player information, sheet, that's linked to the initial email that I sent to you. If you do not fill that out, I will take it that you've changed your mind on participating, on the team. And which I understand, there's no hard feelings or whatever. This is a lot, ladies. This is a commitment, that everyone can't do. And I do appreciate you for considering it. If you're not going to go forward, thank you. And for those that are, hey, get ready for a fun ride. I think we're going to do some great things. See you soon.